It is July 28th, 2025, and I'm just walking up on some gardens over here. It's been a serious dry year, not a whole lot of rain, and when it does rain, it's very brief, but I wanted to document the way this garden is performing. In spite of that, it does happen to be around that time of day, or year rather, when Meadow is going off. A lot of the wildflowers that grow in my garden here were volunteers, but I very much added Meadow fistulosa and this echinacea, for example. I made this garden maybe... Oh, hello. It's a little hummingbird moth. Sorry, friend. Didn't mean to startle you. But, yeah, so this is my little happy place, I suppose. This is where I have planted a bunch of cool plants that I'm excited to acquire fruit from and stuff like that. If you saw this 5 years ago, it would basically look like a bunch of dry grass and some goldenrod. But I've added all kinds of things. So maybe 4 years ago, I stuck in some cuttings of Bob Gordon and Ranch elderberry. And I haven't watered these at all this year, but I did feed the soil a lot when I first planted it. You can see I'm making a lot of elderberries, and I hope to acquire some. I also planted ever-bearing raspberries here. Just dug up some runners and stuck them in the ground, and they've really taken over. This here was the first clump of Meadow fistulosa I ever planted, and it is now being choked out by elderberries and ever-bearing raspberries. So I think of that as a win, I guess. But the yields are still coming on the raspberries. Some of the fruit's a little hard to access, like in here. But I do get in there every once in a while, and I'm picking like a pint of berries a day, not including the ones I snack on. That was a bug in that. Oh well. Anyway, here's a mulberry tree. It's one of the first ones I ever planted. I grew it from a seed. And yeah, I don't think it's like a pure red mulberry or anything. I'm pretty sure it's a white mulberry, but well, I'm certain, I think. But fruited for the first time this year. Quite nice fruit. Very, 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 very sweet. And not much else to it, really, but an attractive tree. It's a lot bigger than it was when I planted it. Here we have more echinacea. You can see another punctata in here. I'm always trying to make additions, but when you get to a certain point, it's challenging to establish small seedlings around such big plants, especially in a drought year. But in this little ring here, for example, that's cup plant. Does not seem to have done much since I planted it. It's put on a couple of leaves and it's just chilling. So I don't know if I needed to loosen the soil more or what, but it seems happy enough. And then in here I've popped in a thimbleberry and black walnut volunteers everywhere and the like, so I'm all good with that. We've also got this ground cherry, right, that spreads by rhizomes, which is probably a nightmare to some people, but as long as the fruit's good, I'm happy. And I wouldn't say they're having the best year ever, but they do spread like crazy. Like, I planted one plant I dug up from another patch, and it's over here, and it spreads around. Like, I'm pretty sure if I go through here, you'll see him somewhere in there. Oh, I can't find him now, but asparagus, never really get to eat much of that because this is a jungle and I never find them in time usually. But yeah, pretty nice overall as a ornamental. Their flowers are pretty popular and cute. And this grows wild around here as well. I've found quite a few patches of wild asparagus. And yeah, in the ground cover, this is mint root, crosnies, and that's pretty prolific. I don't particularly try and remove any native plants, but I do find if you don't keep on top of oxalis, then pretty soon you just have oxalis. The sorrel, you know, nothing too fancy, just whatever I can get going. I had anise hyssop in here this spring. Oh, here it is, yeah. Just looks miserable, so fair enough. And then you get Rebecca just showing up here and there, so that's nice. I'll try and get out of here now. This tree used to be a lot smaller. I need to probably do some pruning. This is a black currant, which is actually making fruit for once. Usually in a rainy year I feel like it doesn't do much, but might just be I haven't had it planted for long enough. And this was a seedling Japanese walnut I planted, and this spearmint that this drought year has actually kind of saved me with this spearmint because it was spreading like crazy, but the droughts put it in its place. This is a little peach. It doesn't put on much growth this year, but it's hanging in there. And then this is a hardy kiwi. It's supposed to be self-fertile, but we'll see about that. Got some Monada citriodora and some larkspur and pearl yarrow. And a lot of what I've allowed to just grow on here is goldenrods and white heath aster and stuff like that. And I added in this snowbank blackberry this year. We got some very dry looking lemon balm. I actually prefer the look of lemon balm when it's kind of stressed out, because if its leaves are too big you can't see the little flowers. And they do seem to be visited. Just heard some honking and a chicken. More Monada, more echinacea. Rather lovely. Here's another little seedling mulberry I stuck in. That's putting on a lot more serious growth now. And as I say, it's been a drought year, so a lot of what I've tried to get established has been eaten, but a lot of it hasn't, so that's cool. Oh, there was a bud here. This is a mulberry. This one didn't fruit this year, but wow. I planted these poplars too. Just stuck cuttings in the ground, and they are now pretty massive, so that's exciting to see that unfold. And this mulberry fruited for the first time this year. And they were sort of purpley and tasty. That was cool. In this bed, I put apple mint in here, which again, when will I learn? But it seems to be mostly goldenrod, which is fine. Not worried about that. I had this nice rudbeckia show up here. It's looking kind of lovely. We've had our fill of the milkweed, and the little milkweed bug. Hi, buddy. And here I popped in anise hyssop and some sage down there. This bronze fennel gets eaten a lot, and again there's some cut plant in there, I believe, and some mustards. And then something I love about Monada fistulosa is she really does spread herself around and volunteers all over the place. This is a little peach, I believe. It's pretty much my height now, so that's cool. And yeah, we've got volunteer black walnut. This is a blackberry patch. I planted this blackberry here a really long time ago when I first made the gardens. Just plopped it in the tall grass, and then I came and sort of built a hugelkultur on top of it. And yeah, no watering, lots of blackberries. So now I don't have to travel so far to pick black raspberries. Because I have lots of raspberries of my own, and blackberries and so on, Aruba species to pick. And I intend to add in a lot more. This cute rose that I grew from some rose hips that I found. And this is the only mulberry that I didn't grow from a seed. I rescued it. It was growing on the driveway. And this is male, I found out this year. So, that's fine, I guess. A little bit more of that lovely Monada punctata there. What a stunner. A lot of that died this last winter. As well as, all my bronze fennel died. I have to replant it. But, yeah, it's looking pretty good. More of that Monada citriodora. This little bed here, I don't really want to film that because it was kind of a fail. It's supposed to be carrots, and there are still carrots there, but they got destroyed. And then a bunch of ground cherries volunteered, but it's just very dry and not super forgiving. We had some random, like, what's that, Gaiardia come up. Plus we got sunchokes for a little perennial sunflower action. Another mulberry. And I'll leave ash trees and stuff, because why wouldn't you? If they start to senesce, I will just harvest the poles and then they can be like a bush. But at the moment I'm trellising a blackberry through it. So hopefully that works well. And I'm sure I could stand to be a little more diligent about weeding. This area I just let do what it wants this year. Let this big thistle, oh hello. That's nice. That's real nice. Very peaceful to see such a thing. But yeah, I'm not going to mention absolutely everything, but this is supposed to be a nursery bed. 2/3 of it did not work, but there's a ton of little 9-barks down here I can dig up in the fall. And then I just plop some tomatoes in. And then we've got another walnut, which I believe is still the same one that I planted, which was a Japanese walnut seedling. And got a little arch here, growing some sneaky beans up it, just because can't grow beans in the ground this year apparently. So I just put a pot there. And there's another Japanese walnut with some American plum and so forth. A little bit of the old evening primrose here. And yeah, it's been a challenging year, but considering how little rain we've had at the hottest time of year, I think the garden looks pretty lush and green and it's supporting lots of life, and it's a really nice place to be. Yeah, here's another Japanese walnut. And that's just a volunteer blackberry in there that came up. Not super prolific, but the fruit is good. And yeah, my little pollinator paradise garden is not looking so great because it's very much struggling with rabbits. Ah, that's nice to see. Oh, please. Use the flowers. But very challenging year. This liatris volunteered for me this year, so I'm going to probably try and get more of that planted going forward. But yeah, it's pretty weedy. Should mention over here, I planted another snowbank blackberry and a gloomy and a haskap. Again, pretty weedy. And there's this apple tree that was just growing in the tall grass here all by itself. And then I made the gardens around it. There's this grey coneflower is about to pop off. So that's lovely, but you can see, even in a drought year, it does have apples on it. And those get a little bigger usually and turn red, and that's cool, I guess. But yeah, I got some hascaps in here. This river locust hanging on for dear life. Probably need to plant that somewhere else in future. But yeah, we're getting on with it. Actually, this ought to be a path, but it's very difficult to maintain because I don't like cutting my trees. But you see blackberries over here. They get eaten by voles and rabbits in winter when they're desperate, but they're spreading like crazy. So I'm ready for this to just be a big berry patch with a bunch of fruit trees. And yeah, lots of goal action. That's about it. That's all I got to say. Farewell. My phone is incredibly hot.